Welcome back to the Smoke Cult Network. I'm Chris.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Honto.
And we are about to start a very important streak of movies that I'm surprised we did not do years ago.
Yeah.
Like, how have we never done?
When we did License to Kill on year one,
that was back when we were like,
was that year one or was that year two?
That was year one. That
we
was
were like recording with a tape recorder.
It was a single Zoom sharing the mic basically. And it was like a 15-hour podcast because the second half we went over every Bond movie ever made.
Dude, why would we sit there? Because that was back during the days when we'd sit there and it'd be like, we'd cover the movie in the first part and we'd be like, all right, we'll see you in the next part. And like a music would be like,
well, it was the was it Tina Turner who did License to Kill? Or no, Gladys Knight.
Yeah, Gladys Knight did.
Yeah, it was the Gladys Knight. So it was the Gladys Knight little interlude.
But you only had 3 seconds of it, so it was like, last it. And then it went into
welcome back to the podcast.
Copyright infringement.
But then, and then the second part, we spent like an hour and 45 minutes, and we're like, let's start with Dr. No. I'm like, I liked it. I'm like, me too.
Did we really go through all of them?
We went through every Bond movie.
And then like I think it was the same year or year after we did the Now Playing on Spectre.
Yes.
Oh, really?
So spoiler alert, when I was building up to is it's James Bond month. Yeah, we didn't actually say that. So if you were wondering what we were talking about, you
didn't read the episode title.
Yeah, no kidding. So yeah, we got quite a few James Bond movies we're going to discuss. We're going to start that off with Live and Let Die, which, correct me if I'm wrong, I forgot to look this up. Is this Roger Moore's first?
Yes, this is his first.
Okay, I thought so.
I was caught by surprise because I forgot it was his first one.
Dude, I'm going to start off real quick before we get into things. It's cool. He does a really good job for being in his first. I feel like he's comfortable in it from the get-go.
Yeah, well, and I think it comes from his back from his days of doing The Saint.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Like,
I think he was literally came from The Saint, right?
Yeah.
And that was like what he was working on at the time.
That's right. Yeah. I didn't know how to fill the rest of your sentence up. But no, he does The Saint. And if you ever watch The Saint, he's Roger Moore, but it's very James Bond-esque.
And I had read basically that because there's a break with Sean Connery and George Lazenby, right?
Yeah.
So with George Lazenby, they got like a no-name person to basically play Bond, and they didn't want to do that again. So they got a known actor in the form of Roger Moore from The Saint.
Yeah. Well, there was a dip because, not that you were going in order, but Lazenby and then Sean Connery comes back.
Yeah, he comes back, yeah.
Well, then they wanted Sean Connery to come back for this one.
Right.
And they offered him quite a huge sum of money, and he didn't want to do it.
Yeah, $700.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this fancy toupee.
And then the script for Gone Fishing. I don't know. I got nothing. So 1973 is Live and Let Die. Let's go ahead and start with what we always do. What was the budget for Live and Let Die? Matt, go.
$50 million.
Honto.
$42 million.
$7 million. Have you guys played this game before?
I think it's always tricky with this like early movies, like the early days of filmmaking.
Well, for 73, $7 million is probably like $8 million today, or 7.2 million today.
Stop saying numbers.
It's only a couple dollars more.
It's only a couple dollars more. So 7 million was the budget, and then I don't have international, so this is domestic, aka worldwide.
Okay.
So I'll start off with Honto. How much did it make? Domestic, go.
42 million.
Matt, go.
$50 million.
Seems so much.
35 million.
Oh, okay, that's not as much. So,
and then finally, Rotten Tomatoes score.
Okay.
What does Live and Let Die have? Honto?
62%.
Matt?
61%. I think Honto's pretty damn close.
Oh, Matt wins because he didn't go over. It's 65%.
Oh, wow. Wait, what?
Wait, what did you say, Honto?
62.
Oh, yeah.
Honto won.
Yeah.
Yep, Honto won because you didn't go over.
Hey,
nice.
Real quick, speaking of Rotten Tomatoes,
tomatoes.
I don't like tomatoes.
This is completely off Bond topic.
Is this a conspiracy theory?
No, Eternals has like what on Rotten Tomatoes right now?
It's like it's pretty high, I think.
No, it's really low.
It's really low.
It's the worst rated.
I think it's low on critics, I think.
Yeah, it's the worst rated.
It's really weird. It's like a 30. I think it's got a 30%.
Yeah.
Am I right? You have Rotten Tomatoes up?
I don't remember.
I hear it's actually pretty decent though.
Oh, really?
That's what's kind of weird about it.
It's like the critic score is low, but the audience score is a little bit high.
Yeah, I saw the other day. I saw
not high, but
the
like
audience
it's
score was at an 80.
Yeah.
So it was like, and not to say that like what is it at, Chris?
47%.
47, and so it's a flat.
Yeah.
And it's like
It also got review bombed like early on, like
Yeah.
even before the movie came out. I think it was like a bunch of, I don't know if it was like DC fans or what, but they were review bombing the hell out of it.
Oh, it sounds like a conspiracy.
I feel
No,
bad.
it's
I don't
like
really.
it's a thing that happens.
I feel bad. I don't really have any desire to see it.
I'm actually still pretty excited about it, but
Really?
I don't know if I'm going to make it to the theater.
Mm.
I do want to see Shang-Chi because it's streaming in a couple days.
See, that like looks fun. I feel like Internals just kind of looks like
it looks
I don't know.
serious.
It looks and I hate to say this because I could be wrong. I'm very open to movies, but it looks kind of generic.
It actually looks like too spectacular. But
You think so?
let's go back to our Bond themed one.
Yeah,
Not our
anyways,
What's wrong with you? What did you?
I
how
got
did you
on
get us
that. I
here?
got on it because like I think Rotten Tomatoes is a broken machine.
Matt, you think everything is a theory? It's not.
I don't like the Rotten Tomatoes scores.
I think it's a.
You know what I think a better score system is?
our score system.
Our score system. Letterboxd. I think Letterboxd has
it's
a
not
better
bad.
score system.
Why?
Because it's actual people like punching in their scores for it instead of going off of like
and
an accumulation of like, for instance, this movie came out in what, 73?
yeah,
Yeah.
Is Live and Let Die?
Yeah.
So you're talking about like a score system that you're taking reviews from then and now, and then you make a culmination of that. And I feel like that's just it's too weird. Like it's not
Well, I know, but
it's not as straightforward. I feel like
Well,
know what I mean?
you. It sounds like you like more the reviews of like this is Josh from Honolulu,
Mhm.
13 years old. He gives us 2 stars. you
Yeah,
know?
because like I think Eternals had a 3.4 on Letterboxd, and I was like, okay, that probably seems
Yeah.
about right for whatever that movie is.
I'm more on the star rating system than the percentage meter.
Yeah,
Mm.
because I'm just confused that like once again we talk about this when we do Rotten Tomatoes. Welcome to our Rotten Tomatoes podcast.
no, it's not, Matt. Whenever you're done,
On your time.
it's stupid.
Yeah.
That's it. It's
no,
dumb.
it's not. It's
Yeah.
okay.
It's
the
dumb.
difference
I hate
is
Rotten. I hate Rotten
Yeah,
Tomatoes.
because-
Let's do Letterboxd next time.
No,
I bet you.
want to do critics. I
bet
want to
you-
do critics. I don't want to do
I-
Matt's reviews.
Yeah, but whatever.
Oh,
welcome
no,
to
we're doing Chris's reviews.
yeah, welcome to
instead.
Chris's podcast.
I'd rather have professional reviews as opposed to.
See, and I rather have like I trust
What
the
I think.
audience more with something because like they're gonna just be just blatantly honest. They're not gonna like they don't have to push a certain like criteria. They
That's
don't
not
have
necessarily.
to.
If they like, oh man, this movie's horrible. I think it's fun, and they give it 5 stars.
Yeah.
Then you're gonna go in and be like, oh, this movie's gonna be awesome. Like that was garbage, and I feel
that's
like-
happened with VHS 94.
it wasn't garbage, but it was
Yeah, it was
okay.
pretty bad.
It was okay. But yeah, I don't know. I'd rather have. I don't know. Do you want to have? I can't think of a joke. All right, so
Whenever
Live
you're
and Let
done,
Die.
Chris.
Jesus. Christ.
Live and Let Die. Talk us through the cast and crew, Honto, of Live and Let Die.
Directed by Guy Hamilton. Which is weird because he directed Goldfinger, which is arguably the best Bond movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he followed up with this movie.
Do you not like this movie?
We'll talk about it.
Let him get through it.
And he also directed a movie called Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins.
I don't know.
Do you know
this?
this?
Coming to a podcast.
Oh my god, this movie is problematic.
Is it?
Oh yeah,
I've never seen this movie. I've always
It's
wanted to
pretty-
watch it, but I've always wanted to watch it with you guys.
it's Stupid City. It stars Fred Ward, right, from Tremors.
Have you never seen this?
No.
I'm gonna show you the poster.
Yeah.
Keep talking.
Yeah.
What's it called again?
Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins. You've probably seen the cover.
Alright.
They just released the soundtrack. I can't remember where, but
and there's Tremors in it?
Fred Ward.
Oh, Fred Ward Tremors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Fred Ward from Tremors. But there's a white actor who plays an Asian in this
Oh,
movie,
really?
and it's
Okay.
like really,
Is it?
really
Okay.
bad.
Yeah.
You've never seen that poster?
Really.
I don't know. It looks cool.
I know, right? I would love to watch this movie with you guys.
Oh, and that's like the last like 5 minutes of the movie.
What, that poster?
Yeah.
Of
yeah.
just him throwing a fist in the air?
Oh.
It was literally just a
It was
picture
just
of
a
him.
close up of him
There's-
throwing a fist in the air.
There's
and
an
said Remo
there's an
Williams.
alternate poster where he's hanging from the Statue of Liberty.
Oh, I saw that one. Yeah.
That's like the last.
It was
like-
literally a picture of him with like him punching. You're like, that's the last 5 minutes.
I'm Remo Williams.
He doesn't punch until the last 5 minutes.
The adventure will continue.
Yeah, the last 5 minutes is just him holding the fist.
I love when movies like are so. I love it like when like there's like those movies that are like they're so cocky
Yeah.
that like
Oh yeah. This is like basically Sahara.
Yes.
For
Adventure has a new name.
Yeah, the adventure begins, meaning like
I
this
love
is
it.
the
Like,
first leading to more.
You're like, wow, that's very bold of you.
Yeah.
To put that as your subtitle.
What other movie? I feel like there's another movie that did something like really ballsy.
We brought it up on the show before.
I can't remember, but it was
They
just like
expected a franchise.
yeah, and it was just like, oops. Hire a better marketing team.
History of the World Part 2 that never came out.
Right.
Spaceballs.
Actually, legit, History of the World Part 2 just got announced.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, it's Mel Brooks' first thing in like
Wow,
20-something years.
I think
Since,
I did read that.
Yeah, it's like a Hulu TV
Dead
series.
Loving It, right? I think
that might
Dead
be
Loving It
correct.
was his last one.
Yeah.
That's
So,
awesome.
I feel like man, Blast in the Past. No, hold on. Yeah, the one with Richard Grieco.
If looks could kill.
Yeah, I feel like that was
probably.
supposed to be.
I think that was probably hinting at like a. I feel it was hinting at like a teen spy.
I think so. Oh, you know what? I might be getting it mixed up with what's the one that Andrew Dice Clay?
Oh, is that Fort Fairlane?
Yes, I think that was supposed to be a thing.
franchise.
That one I
Yeah.
wouldn't like to talk about on the podcast.
That would be a pod. That Fort Fairlane, Remo Williams, and like feel like one other movie would be
Yeah.
like a perfect trilogy of
Oh,
like.
so you get to pick all the movies that month?
Sure.
It's
really-
really called movies I watched as a kid.
So really quick, why was the License to Kill podcast so long back in the day?
I don't
We talk
know.
about every movie.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So wait, were you just trying to say we're talking?
No,
about
I was
this?
gonna say we just went on like a good.
I actually don't think we went on a tangent on that episode, but I'll have to listen to it. Starring Roger Moore in his first foray as James Bond. He was in. I'm trying to like name movies that aren't like Bond or whatever.
Sure.
He was
Spice
in
World.
Was he in Spice World?
Yeah, he's their manager, I think.
Oh wow, I thought it was
I
Alan
think.
Cumming.
No, Alan Cummings, their manager. In
He's
that
a big
movie.
role, and I can't remember who he is.
Maybe that's the third movie in that.
Yeah, I was gonna
podcast.
say.
I was like, dude, we have to do Spice World.
Dude, I could talk about Spice World, but good.
The Quest with JCVD, and he was in I think a bit part in the movie The Saint with Val Kilmer.
I still never seen that.
I
Yeah,
feel
you
like I've
have.
seen it.
No, I don't think I ever
We
watched
watched
it.
it when we were kids.
It was on like TBS.
No, I watched
think.
you watch it.
Oh,
He was just looking at you the entire time. Did you
Yeah.
find it weird?
What are you
it
laughing
was
at?
weird.
Tell me what you're laughing at.
Yaphet Kotto as Katanga?
Oh, no,
What?
you got me. I don't know
Kananga?
how to say.
Kananga.
Kananga.
Yeah.
Kananga.
Kananga. Previous episodes across 110th Street and Alien. He's also in Midnight Run, The Running Man, and
Oh, hold on. You missed Freddy's Dead.
oh yeah, previous episode, Freddy's Dead.
He's been
Yeah.
in. This is our fourth movie with him.
This is his fourth movie.
Is
Wow.
he becoming our new mascot?
Dude, Yaphet Kotto, I would be fine with that.
Yeah.
Actually, that's the only movies I know.
I love Yaphet Kotto.
That's the only movies I
Yeah.
know him in. So,
Really?
Yeah, those
Check
four.
out Blue Collar. I think you'd like Blue
Okay.
Collar.
Oh, Blue Collar.
Is it that
was
stand-up
dope.
comedy with like Larry the Cable Guy? And
you
stuff
would
like
think you would think it's funny because
It's
of
Richard
the name.
Pryor.
Richard Pryor's in it, but he's playing like a serious role.
It's about three workers in a car company, and one's Yaphet Kotto, Harvey Keitel, and Richard Pryor.
that? Okay.
And
And
it's
like,
pretty awesome.
and it's got some crazy behind the scenes stories about it too,
Was it like people actually fighting, like Harvey Keitel?
like
actually
pulling guns.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, but they fought a lot too.
yeah.
I
I
but
feel
yeah,
like that 70s era was a real like wild card as far as like people just like letting loose on the set, like particular like Sam Peckinpah. I think it was like Sam Peckinpah and no, I'm sorry, it's like Klaus Kinski and Werner Herzog.
yeah.
These are a lot of names I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't know Klaus Kinski who played like Nosferatu?
Okay.
He's a weird looking
Okay.
dude.
Yeah.
You know who he is. And then
Okay.
Werner Herzog, who's in Mandalorian. He's like that director. He did like Grizzly Man.
That doesn't sound
He's like a
familiar.
German director, but
Okay.
basically there's like they've made so much movies in the past.
Mhm.
Like there are parts of like them fighting and like almost killing each other on the set.
Really?
Yeah.
Speaking of, this is back on Live and Let Die. I found out about this and I want to get a hold of it because it got a repress. But Roger Moore did a diary for every day he worked on this movie.
Oh, nice.
And he put out a book back in the 70s, and it was just basically Live and
That's
Let
really
Diary.
cool.
Live and Let Die Diary.
Oh,
And
man,
it
that was the best name for it. Live and Let
Die
Diary.
Live and Let Diary.
That's awesome.
But like I guess it got repressed recently or
Okay.
reprinted recently, and I like back in 2018.
Oh, nice.
I want to get a hold of it. I
That
was like,
sounds really cool.
yeah, it'd be kind of cool to see like an honest like portrayal of what's going on.
What if it was like
Day-
really boring and he was like, day one, he's like, we filmed. He's like, day two, we filmed some more.
Yeah.
I woke up late, showed up to the set late.
Had a hot dog.
Yum.
Jane Seymour, Solitaire, Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman herself.
Wedding Crashers.
Wedding Crashers.
Yeah.
That was the other
Which
one.
I always
picked.
forget she's in that.
Yeah.
One of the best aged people, like actors, like actor wise. Like I feel like she aged beautifully.
She did, but then again, like I haven't seen her in anything since Wedding Crashers, and that was like,
That's like your memory
almost
is.
20 years ago.
Oh my god, it was almost 20 years
Was it
ago.
almost 20 years
It's
ago?
like 2003, 2004.
2005, I think.
yeah, I just think she
Yeah.
aged really.
Have
really,
you seen her in
really
anything
well.
since Wedding Crashers?
Well, we got a Google.
It sounds like
machine.
no.
Yes, I have. I can't
What
remember.
would
what I
you
saw
see her
her.
in?
I don't know.
I'm
I have to think
not
about
telling
it.
you. Keep
I'm
it a
not
secret.
telling. It's my business.
Yeah.
That's my business.
Who else we got?
I think it was me.
Clifton James as Sheriff Pepper.
Okay, he's in another one. Right?
He is. He's in the direct sequel to this, which is Man with the Golden Gun.
It is a direct sequel.
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
Spy
really?
Who Loved Me is after this.
No, it is not. It's Man with the Golden Gun, and then it's Spy Who Loved Me.
How's
Is
it a
it?
direct sequel?
Well, I'm not saying. I'm just
I
saying.
thought
like,
it was me. I thought it was Spy Who
I'm just saying,
Loved
like,
I
Me.
think
it's a
it was a connection.
No, I'm just saying it's like the sequel too,
Okay.
basically. But I mean, I guess it could be if it's the same actor or same character or
Sure,
whatever.
Sure.
But there's a little bit of trivia actually.
You're
with
right,
this.
Honto.
Yeah, I know. There's actually a little bit of trivia on this. Basically, when they were filming the boat chase scene, I think it was shot in like Louisiana or somewhere in the South.
Okay.
Basically, there was the police, like the sheriffs down there, were like really, really racist.
Really?
Yeah, so they were giving like the people a lot of shit on the set because they had black actors like being in the the boat chase scene or whatever.
Yeah.
And so they're basically like, yeah, we don't want you filming here. And they're like, okay, I guess we'll take our $160,000 somewhere else. And they're like, no, wait. No, wait.
Wow.
And so when they made this movie, they basically made this Sheriff Pepper, this like hick,
Yeah.
basically like
To mock him?
to make fun of.
Wow, that's cool. Okay.
But it backfired horribly because everyone loved this character
That's
so much that they brought him back for the sequel.
Really?
Or the
for-
next
Isn't that
movie,
crazy?
basically.
Wow.
But
That's
yeah,
nuts, man.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Okay.
I know, like Honto told me that last night, and I should have reacted better on the podcast
that's
as
fine.
if like, oh, I've never heard this before. But he told me
Yeah.
last night, and I thought it was really like that's nuts.
Yeah.
And like I watched this after you told me,
Yeah.
and then watching, I was like, oh yeah, they're just making fun of the hell out of him.
Oh yeah, he's
He's like, we're gonna call my brother Billy Bob. Billy
Yeah.
Bob will catch him.
yeah, he's like
And
a
he's like-
bumbling idiot in this
Yeah.
movie. It's like crazy.
Yeah. By the way, I was right. Jane Seymour still looks really good
Oh,
for
wow.
70 years old.
Good
for her, yeah.
job.
Yeah.
She was relatively young during this, right?
She was like 20.
Was she?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
When I was 20, I don't know what I was doing, but I was not.
I was thinking of being with Roger Moore, who's
Yeah.
45 in this movie.
Is he
He's 45. in
Yeah,
this
he's
movie.
actually how old is Sean hold on.
He was young. He's 40.
He's Sean I thought he was Sean Connery's age when he did Diamonds Are Forever.
He was like, I think Roger Moore was like 5 years older than Sean Connery.
Yeah, I'm gonna look
Dude,
it up.
Roger Moore looks great in this for 45.
Yeah,
Kudos,
but
man.
bagging a 20-year-old, 45-year-old.
I'm on the Google machine.
Roger
tonight.
Moore.
If I didn't know their ages,
Yeah.
it doesn't look too far off. Like
No.
it doesn't, but when you say it out loud, I'm like, oh, that's odd.
Yeah.
But interesting. Okay.
This actor, Clifton James, was also in Superman 2. I think also playing another cop. And then he was in Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor. Speaking of Richard Pryor, Silver Streak. So he was in a couple of
Oh.
movies in the 80s, 70s era. We got Julius Harris as Teehee, Darkman, Maniac Cop 3, Badge of Silence, and a movie that's been popping up in our radar for like the last couple months, Crime Wave.
Okay. And
which
who's
is the-
this guy in Little Red Die?
Holy
He's
shit, really quick. Sorry, I just figured it out.
Claw Guy.
Oh,
T-
okay.
T- yeah,
cool.
T.
Oh, okay.
He's older than Roger Moore was older than Sean Connery by 3 years.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
it was 3 years. Yeah.
Okay.
So I thought it was like in
So,
that 5-year range.
But speaking of ages, I want to talk to you guys really quick because we're
We were
jumping all over
talking
the
about
cast.
something else.
We're jumping all over the cast, but I
No
forgot my ages.
words.
You got me looking up stuff. I'm not paying attention
Don't
to the
look up
podcast.
anything. Just talk to us.
I think this episode might be longer than License to
Yeah,
Kill
Matt, you're
already.
pushing it.
I
I don't trust candy.
Dude, guess how old Yaphet Kotto was in this
Okay.
movie?
I'm gonna guess 29.
Chris?
No, that's way too young.
I'm gonna say he was
73.
52.
50? Really? 52?
Yeah.
I don't know if
No.
you're joking.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 52.
Honto, what are you guessing?
I'll say 35.
He was 33 years old. He's my age.
Oh man, I was
He's,
hoping,
dude,
the only reason
that's
I
crazy
guessed
because that
52
blows my
that
mind.
does it.
He's the
Dude, if you play your cards right, you might blow up like a balloon.
up
Yeah.
until this point, he was the youngest
Villain.
Bond villain.
That's crazy.
he
and
looks
he's-
33. I was
No,
I
he
thought you were-
doesn't.
I thought you were gonna-
look. Well, maybe I look so young.
No, you look like a 19-year-old. You
I
look
do
like
look
Gene
like a
Seymour.
19-year-old. I look like a young Jane Seymour.
You're gorgeous.
No, but it just blows my mind. I'm like, dude, he's my age, and like he's like, I don't know.
Acting in movies?
I don't know. He's a Bond villain. I guess it just put my mind.
What do you want me to say?
It put my mind in perspective where I was like, man, here I am just living day to day, and this guy figured it out at 33.
How to be a Bond villain?
Yeah, how to be a Bond villain. And I was like, I can't even figure out how to be a good guy.
What?
So Teehee, is that his name?
Yeah, it's the guy
That's
who fights
stupid.
Roger Moore at the end of this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess he was friends with Sam Raimi then.
Why? Darkman.
Darkman and Crime Wave.
Yeah. Okay.
Very
yeah.
cool.
I'll have to
Okay.
look into that. That's pretty awesome.
Was he in the first Darkman or just 3?
It's the first Darkman and it's Maniac Cop 3.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
So he was
yeah.
definitely connected with Sam Raimi.
Well,
then,
because
Sam Raimi did all 3. Or no.
He didn't direct it, but Ted Raimi is in Maniac Cop
What
3.
the hell is going on?
Shut up! You're too busy on your age.
I know.
Chris and I are having a conversation over here.
Existential
Guess
crisis
how
over
old
here.
I was when I was 17.
I was as old as Jane Seymour.
That's crazy.
But no, he had to be friends with that group because Maniac Cop's Bruce Campbell,
Yeah.
and then
Oh yeah. I
and
guess
then
Bruce-
Sam Raimi, Darkman,
Well, no.
and
Sorry, Bruce Campbell dies in
yes,
2.
yes.
But I think there's a Sam Raimi connection because Ted Raimi's in Maniac Cop 3.
Okay, so there had to be something.
I think there is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he gets invited over for dinner during Thanksgiving, right? At the
he
Raimi
died.
house. Or he used to.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Maybe.
Okay.
We got Geoffrey Holder as Baron Samedi. He's the narrator for Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
No shit.
Yes, he is.
Who is he in this?
Baron Samedi. It's the voodoo
Yeah.
Okay.
witch doctor.
And he's the narrator.
The
I
man
have
who
to think about
cannot die.
Yeah, and he's Punjab in Annie, which was a surprise for me.
Wait,
Oh,
what's his
okay.
name?
Punjab, I think.
I've never heard that
Really?
before in my life.
I
Yeah.
love like the doubt in your voice. You're like, I think.
But yeah, I remember seeing that as a kid. And, that guy was awesome.
Are you talking about the Jamie Foxx Annie?
No,
okay.
he would have been 90.
That's the only one
He would
I
have been
know.
90 at that point. We got David Hedison as Leiter. He's only referred to as Leiter in this movie, but it's Felix Leiter. Previous episode,
No, he calls him Felix Leiter.
He calls him Leiter.
No, he calls him Felix Leiter. He when he pulls out the lighter from
Oh, he does.
Yeah, he does.
yeah.
A
He's like,
genuine
it's like a genuine
Felix
Felix
Leiter.
Leiter.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
How illuminating.
Reprises his role in License to Kill.
That's what I thought. I thought he was in
Yeah.
that one too. You know who else is in License to Kill? Is
Timothy Dalton.
Yes. Do you know how old he was?
Jade Seymour's age.
Isn't that weird?
Dude, I know, but we talk about this. Where, like, when you start to hit a certain age of somebody in a movie that you've seen a million times over,
You're
and
like-
you're like, I'm that old
Oh,
now.
I'm
Like, the
that-
first time I watched Home Alone, dude, my mind was fucked.
And I'm like,
I was like,
that 15 years older than him?
I was like, that kid's in my age. What's going on with my life?
I know I'm mocking you, but I've totally done that too. I'm like, oh, really?
I absolutely do it like all the time in movies
Yeah.
where I'm like, look at their age. I'm like,
I know. It's like my stomach's covered in like cheese, and I'm like, I'm sitting on the couch eating.
What are you doing?
And I was like, I could have been Kananga.
I'm like Kananga at the end of this movie.
With License to Kill,
Yeah.
one of the I don't think he's a bad guy. It's been a while, probably since the
Okay.
podcast. Guy from People Under the Stairs and Twin Peaks is in it.
Oh, Everett McGill?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's in it.
Yeah,
Isn't
he is. He's the guy kicks out of the
Get there.
no, where I
Everett
forget.
McGill's in-
Oh no, he kills him with the sharks.
Yeah.
Remember he throws the briefcase at him, and Everett McGill like,
Yes.
catches the briefcase and
Yeah.
falls into the shark. Yeah.
Okay,
Wait, why are we talking about Everett McGill?
I don't know.
Now, because he's in License to Kill. Why did you bring that up?
I don't know. You brought up License to Kill.
No, you brought it up.
Yeah.
No, you said Felix Leiter was in.
Yeah.
Right.
He's,
Yeah.
he's not Felix Leiter, though.
Oh, he's not. He doesn't play Felix Leiter in
No,
License to Kill.
he's like the guy that betrays Felix in License to Kill.
What the hell is going on?
Chris, what are you doing?
All right.
Dude,
So
I'm
Felix
gonna- I'm
Leiter
going
in Live and Let
crazy.
Die
So
plays
David
a bad guy in License to Kill.
Are you playing 7 Degrees of Kevin Bacon
So
over
David
here?
Hedison, who plays Leiter in this movie,
Yes.
also plays Felix Leiter in License to Kill.
That's what I said. Yeah.
But it's not Everett McGill who you're thinking of.
No, I know that.
No,
I
he's just
said
saying.
in it.
He said Everett McGill's in that movie.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
That's
nice trivia.
I'm done talking then. Go ahead.
Nice
Me
trivia.
and Matt are done. Honto, you carry this podcast. Go for it, bro.
I don't know what happened.
Dude, I don't know either. He just randomly
yeah.
spouted out a separate movie from what we're talking about. He said, this actor's in that movie.
Yeah, he did. So I was
Did
like
you
confused.
know
And there's
that
no
Nicolas
connection.
Cage,
I mean,
But
like-
I'm getting made fun of for my age over here, which makes no sense.
Blink 182 over here. Go ahead, continue.
Gloria Hendry as Rosie, the CIA agent. Previous episode, 100 across 110th Street, and then she's also in Pumpkinhead 2 and Black Belt Jones, which is like a 70s black exploitation
cool.
movie. You got Bernard Lee as M. He was basically M, I think, all the way up until his death in 1979, which was, I think,
For Your Eyes Only? No,
think-
that's the 80s. What am I talking about?
maybe the one before that. The
Uh,
Spy
No,
Love Me?
the last one he's in is no. They change him.
It's
They change him.
It's Moonraker is his last
Yeah.
movie.
Okay.
And then they change him after that.
Yeah.
It looks like
Oh.
he's beginning re-entry.
But I thought this was interesting. He's in this movie called Operation Kid Brother.
Do you want me to talk about it?
You can go ahead.
Okay, I've
Yeah.
watched it.
Oh, you have?
I've watched it. Can you look up the credits on it really quick? Operation Kid Brother
You want me to just say who
is an Italian film.
who stars in it?
Yeah, hold on. It's an Italian film that was supposed to be a spoof off of James Bond movies. And he's playing literally James Bond's brother, played by the actual Sean Connery's brother, which is his name is what?
Neil Connery?
Neil Connery.
Just make that up.
shit you
no,
not.
it's not. This is real.
And then to add on top of it, the villain in it is the villain from Thunderball.
yeah, it is.
Playing a separate role. The main girl in it is the girl is Ursula Andress, isn't it?
No,
No.
I'm looking Daniela Bianchi, who is in From Russia with Love.
From Russia with Love. Yeah, she's the redhead, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, the redhead from Russia with Love is the blonde. She's the blonde.
Yeah.
The main girl from Russia with Love is the lead girl in this movie,
Mhm.
and then M and
Moneypenny.
both appear in this movie
Yeah.
as M and Moneypenny.
This
but
is
you
so-
never hear
dude,
they
this-
never say their names.
This is so weird because
it's really really weird.
because Lois Maxwell is credited, who plays Moneypenny in like the James Bond
Yeah.
movies, who's in this. She's credited as Max, and then like Neil Connery, he's credited as Dr. Neil Connery in this movie.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
Dude.
I have an idea for my name.
Yeah, I got a great idea. You're gonna love it.
Yeah, I've watched it. It's a weird movie.
I
It's
think
weird
okay.
for being okay. If you're like a Bond fan, it's worth checking out.
Yeah.
Just to be like, how did this? Just so you can like wrap your head around how did this fly?
This-
Like,
I mean, this is like the tradition with like Italian movies that try to like do their own thing. I mean,
but I've never seen anything this close where I was like, they're actually using real actors, and then they've got Sean Connery's brother playing the lead role
yeah.
as a spy.
Like it doesn't get any closer than that when you have
Yeah.
like a relative of a James Bond, you know, basically. Like,
it's just the
That's
weirdest.
super interesting.
It's
Okay.
super
Okay.
weird, man.
and then the last person I'll mention is Madeline Smith, who's the girl in the very beginning of this movie. She is in a movie that I watched recently called Theater of Blood, which I think is like a Peter Cushing. It's one of those like
Hammer.
Hammer movies. But she's also in
Oh no, Theater of Blood's not Hammer.
I don't think it is. But it's basically like a
Yeah.
revenge like horror movie.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm thinking about her. She's in Vampire Lovers,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's the
Yeah.
other movie I was going to mention, which is part of a trilogy of Hammer movies. One of them I watched during Halloween season called Twins of Evil.
Okay.
It's called the Karnstein trilogy. This is part of that trilogy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she's in that.
So it's Vampire Lovers is the first one,
Uh-huh.
and then
I don't know the second one.
Lust of a Vampire,
Okay.
and then Twins of Evil is the
Twins
third
Evil.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then Timmy the Vampire.
What?
I got nothing.
Okay.
Go ahead.
And that's it.
Score.
That's it.
Chris, you're winning tonight.
Keep going.
Keep going. You're on fire.
That's it.
So before I watch this movie, I've always put Live and Let Die in my top 3 James Bond movies.
Absolutely.
Yeah?
It's pretty high
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. So that being said, let's talk about the movie and see if it still stands where I had it. So the film starts off. This is actually my favorite Bond intros.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the rare ones where he doesn't show up in the intro.
I would say it was kind of odd that it was like an intro without Bond.
It
yeah,
is.
I think
like
it's next
it,
to
though.
Dr. No or like the first two that don't have Bond in the intro.
I do like
Because-
this intro though.
Because you got like the guy from the United Nations or the UK who dies during like a
It's like a UN
Yeah.
hearing or whatever.
and then you have another one who dies during what else is there?
It's like a New Orleans
the New Orleans
it's like basically like a funeral procession basically.
Yeah,
And then turns into like a parade.
which used to scare me as a kid.
Yeah.
Like, that
It's
freaked
kind
me
of
out.
kind of scary how they're just like celebrating this guy's death,
Well,
Yeah.
they bring it back up and like later on in the movie,
which is cool. It's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, because they don't say what happens. He just like they do the exact same setup for
The CIA.
the CIA agent, and the guy just stands next to him. The funeral procession's coming down the street, and then they just cut. And then like they make a bunch of cracks later on. They're like where's blah blah blah? Like he's probably laying down on the job.
Jeez.
And it's like
As a kid, I thought they didn't kill him.
me too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I thought because the way it cuts is so kind of like the guy smiles at him and then they start dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it shows the guy, the CIA agent in the parade
He's dancing too.
Yeah. But it's like
Get
insin-
back to work.
it's insinuating that he
Yeah,
that he gets
yeah.
it.
just based off the
So talking about talking about James Bond movies, you get a little like the plots get convoluted, right?
Yeah.
So we're talking about the plot. One of the guys that gets killed in this opening is the guy that finds out there's a poppy field, and he gets killed because of that,
Yeah.
right? And Rose is it Rosie?
Rosie, yeah.
Rosie's the one who like turned him over to Kananga, and that's how that guy get killed, right?
And then the
Oh
guy,
yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Wow.
and then the guy in the UN was just there to tail Kananga at the UN.
Okay.
He was just there to like,
And then what about
supervise.
the third guy
um,
who gets killed in the funeral? Or no. Oh, never mind. The guy who gets killed in the funeral procession was another tail. Because he
okay,
was hanging out in front of that club.
Yes.
because he's trying to see
Yes.
Mr. Big
Yes.
leaving, right?
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
why he gets killed.
It did not even dawn on me that Rosie was the one that betrayed
Yeah.
me. That's
Yeah, because I
really-
think
yeah.
Bond calls her out. Basically, I can't remember how he figures it out. But
Teehee is the one who says it to Kananga, or Kananga says it back to Teehee or whatever. Basically the conversation they have is like, Rosie's been very trustworthy. She
Gotcha.
gave us
And then
agent, I
she
think it's
shows-
the Agent Bane or something like
Yeah,
that. Bane's.
yeah.
and then
Yeah.
she shows up basically.
Yeah.
And it cuts to the picture of Bane from Batman and Robin. Do you remember that? Like every time in that movie they talk about Bane, it just
Yeah.
cuts to Bane and he's like Bane. Like,
Oh,
God.
it's dumb, dude.
Oh, he talks like this.
Wait, is that Bane?
from Dark Knight Rises?
oh. So yeah, I think it's a really cool intro because you're like, it's enticing because you're wondering what's going on.
Yeah.
I wish it was a little more clear what was happening.
Yeah,
But it's still a cool intro, and then it goes into our title sequence of "Live and Let Die" by
Mhm.
Paul McCartney, and I think Wings is with him.
Yeah.
It's Paul McCartney in the
Yeah.
wings, or
Yeah. Awesome song.
awesome song, kind of lame, title sequence.
Oh, you don't like the
really?
title
I
sequence?
like it.
Yeah, it's not as great as some of the other ones.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it's a cool one. I think
Done
I like.
by Maurice Binder, who did several of the other ones.
Okay.
Did in the
Did
past.
Saul Bass do any of the?
No, Saul
okay.
Bass never did any
Okay.
Bond stuff. But yeah, Maurice Binder, I think, did every single sequence up to like
Probably the
maybe the 90s. I don't know if I don't quote me
he
on
did
that.
even
but-
the License to Kill and stuff.
yeah,
or-
he was like he was like their go-to guy.
Okay.
Like I'm pretty sure he
Those-
did up to License to Kill.
those
All right.
those sequences get pretty awesome towards the I feel like the Timothy Dalton Pierce Brosnan
Yeah.
where they get more like three-dimensional,
I don't
Yeah.
remember much of the Daltons or the Brosnans.
I think the the Timothy Dalton License to Kill is like a photographer. It's like a bunch of
That sounds familiar.
I think they're like heavily like promoting Canon or like
Yeah.
Panasonic or something like
yeah.
some sort of camera brand, but it's like all camera
okay.
style.
Well, it's weird too because like I haven't watched a lot of these movies. I haven't watched them since I was a kid, so it's been
Yeah.
20 years since I've seen a lot of them.
Same.
Mhm.
Live and Let Die, unfortunately, I did watch like I think 10 years ago.
I watched it a couple years ago.
Yeah, so it's like that one was pretty fresh in my brain, and it was like I would have to go and say that Goldfinger, GoldenEye, and Live and Let Die were probably the three we watched most when we were kids.
That's wild.
Yeah.
For me, it was actually License to Kill when I was a kid, and then probably GoldenEye and probably Live and Let Die
Okay.
were like the three that I watched.
Yeah.
And it was always like they always had the Bond marathon on like TNT, so I would always
Mhm.
watch like whatever was on.
They
Yeah,
always had a Bond marathon around Christmas time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so I always, and I think Matt's the same, but we always insinuate Bond with Christmas.
Oh, okay, interesting.
do they still do it?
I don't.
I don't know.
I
That sounds kind of like a dumb question, but I haven't turned TNT on.
I haven't turned TV on in a
Yeah.
while.
Wait, what's TNT's slogan?
We know drama.
We know drama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the movie continues, and I'm not gonna go through every scene. We'll go through the scenes that stand out.
Okay.
Because it's pretty straightforward. There's not. This is one of the less convoluted plots of a James Bond movie.
It's kind of straightforward. I mean, you get your basically once the credit sequence happens, they just go right into it of like M walking up to Bond's door and then waking him up after his little sex foray.
Yeah.
But she sneaks around the house and she like shushes like Moneypenny, like don't tell. She's running around. And this joke would have been funnier had you known that she was an agent as well.
Oh, is she supposed to be?
Yeah, because at the end of the whole scene, M's like, or something, she's something like an agent.
Yeah, they say she's an agent.
But at the end of the scene, so after she's been sneaking around, you're like, why is she sneaking around? And then M's like, have you seen blah, blah, blah with the blah, blah? Had he said that at the beginning, and he saw her sneaking around, it probably would have been funnier.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is when Bond gets his watch.
Yeah, what do we think of this watch, by the way?
He uses like 10 times.
This is the only gadget.
And no Q in this one.
Yeah, no Q, which is kind of a bummer.
Right?
Yeah, Q is off doing something different at this time. But
this might be the most use he's ever gotten out of a gadget, I think.
This is like one of 3 times, I believe, in the entire series of movies where we've seen Bond's apartment.
Oh,
where
really?
Bond lives.
Oh, yeah.
This is not a bad little place he's got.
Yeah. He only uses the watch a couple times.
Oh, he used like 5 or 6 times.
He uses
I thought he used
beginning. And
he
then
uses it at the beginning when he undresses her. He uses it when he tries to get the boat to come towards him with the alligator.
Shark pellet.
Yeah, the shark pellet.
And then rope.
He uses it to cut the rope. He uses it to get the gas pellet.
That's what I mean. Yeah, the
shark pellet.
Yeah, and then he uses it to cut the rope. So that's twice.
Yeah.
What
as a saw? What?
He just said the same thing.
Yeah,
he literally just like,
did he?
Yeah.
So so there's 4 times.
Yeah, 4 times.
There might be a 5th.
Like the way you were rattling them off, you're like, he uses it to cut the ropes. He uses it to get the shark pellet. He uses it to cut the ropes, and then he uses it to get the shark pellet. And me and Hanta just dead stared at you.
My
like,
opinion does not matter on this podcast.
But he used it 4 times, and at one point, Kananga even like looks at it, like he takes it off his wrist and looks at it. So like this watch is getting a lot of play.
This watch is dope.
I like this. I like when it goes into like razor blade mode. I'm like, I want that. That looks pretty cool.
Fun. Okay, so Madeline Smith. Talked about her scene.
This is the girl.
This is the Italian agent that is in the scene.
His apartment.
Like while he's like making love to her, kissing her, or whatever. I guess Roger Moore's wife was on set.
Oh God!
And she said it was really awkward, like filming this scene because for some reason, Roger Moore's wife was on set during it. His wife at the time.
Jeez.
I think that's so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But then I guess I don't know because I don't live in this world.
Maybe she just likes to watch.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. But like some people are like, oh, he's acting, it clearly means nothing to him. But like, it's still awkward.
Yeah. I guess, and it took 29 times. I was wondering about this.
Yeah, Roger Moore had to do a couple more tries.
He did. So it took him 29 times to get the zipper thing, the zipper trick to work because they were using a thread off screen to pull the zipper down.
Yeah,
it took him 29 times to get it right. If anybody was wondering, because I was wondering that when I was watching it myself, I was like, how are they doing the zipper thing? Is it a thread or is it?
Yeah, I was actually wondering
behind her dress. Like I don't know.
I thought Roger Moore was calling the shots on another take. Like,
oh yeah,
Moore.
Roger, it looked pretty good to me. Do another one.
They call me Roger Moore.
It's like my name, Raji Moore.
I want more.
So the film continues on. I don't even know where we're at this point.
We're going to New York.
Yeah,
we're in Harlem.
Harlem now.
Yeah. And a lot of reasons I like this movie is because it essentially is a blaxploitation movie.
It has that blaxploitation
with James
feel.
Bond.
Yeah.
And I think this really works.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
There's some stuff that's a little dated for sure. Don't get me wrong. But I love the feel of this movie.
Yeah.
Roger Moore or Bond, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Bond goes to like a gift shop and he's like, I'm getting all mixed up. I'm not going to go through every scene.
He arrives
did you watch this movie recently?
So Timothy Dalton.
He arrives in New York, right?
And he's on his way to Harlem in a taxi cab.
And the taxi cab's like, "Shall I open it?"
Yeah, it whispers in the next car over.
Yeah, whispers in the next car. He shoots the cab driver. The car goes crazy down the highway.
Yeah, I feel so bad for the cab driver because he's just like looks like he's just driving, and Roger Moore's like, "Hey, we better watch the road over there."
And then we've got a scene where he gets another cab.
I do like that scene, by the way.
He gets a scene with another cab, right? Mm-hmm. And we've got a back and forth surveillance between people with walkie-talkies as they're tailing him on his way to Harlem.
Yeah.
And it's weird because like half of the surveillance is Kananga's guys and half of them are CIA. Half of them are CIA guys.
Yeah.
So CIA and Kananga's guys are basically running surveillance on Bond as he's going into Harlem.
Yeah. And I think it's supposed to be confusing because you're not supposed to know
like who is who, basically.
Yeah.
So Bond goes to that bar, and I do like this scene a lot. He sits in that that seat, and he hands the guy 20 after he orders his drink. And I can't remember what he says, but then the chair or like the whole booth spins around, and the guy like collects the money and then drinks James Bond's drink.
Yeah.
It's a really cool. It's a good humor in this. But this is when we first meet. Is this Bond meeting Mr. Big?
No. Wait, yeah.
I think it's Mr. Big and Solitaire, right?
Can you explain to me what he's doing with Mr. Big and
Okay, so Kananga's his real like identity, right?
Yes.
But he's using the persona of Mr. Big to push drugs. Like Mr. Big's the drug dealer.
Yeah.
But Kananga's a UN official.
Right.
So he can't he can't be both. So that's why he wears the mask of Mr. Big.
Okay.
So that way he can sell like the drugs and push the drugs.
But then I think it isn't Kananga's like having that private island allows him to like push the drugs like through like a supply chain or something like that. Is that what he's got the island for?
Yeah, well, he's got the island for the poppy fields.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
he's pushing it to Harlem, basically.
Yeah, and the whole plot is that he's going to give away all of his heroin for free so he can monopolize the heroin market.
And I think that's why I like this movie.
Dude,
it's
pretty real. It's a
pretty
real topic.
And it's very straightforward. It's not like, and nothing against it, but like Tomorrow Never Dies. Like, I work in a newspaper and I'm going to create the news.
Dude, that one's awesome.
Oh, it's cool. But it's not like I'm going to control the world. This one's like, I'm going to push drugs.
Yeah, I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
Because
this one?
No, Tomorrow Never Dies has a legit
it was
plot.
a bad example. Tomorrow Never Dies is cool.
Right.
Sorry, Nintendo Power Glove and an Asian turning into a British man.
Wait,
Die Another Day.
I'll Die Another Day. Yes.
Die Another Day.
Invisible Car.
Yeah, when you think of like the plots of like something like this, and you jump like 40 years in the future or 30 years in the future, you're like, man, these movies got real dumb.
Yeah. Anytime you deal with satellites, it's pretty stupid.
Yeah, they really were pushing the satellites in the latter.
But I did use a bad example. I just meant I like the simplicity of who he is.
The plot in the book, he is that Kananga works for Smersh.
Okay.
And the plot is he's got a bunch of, this is a really weird one, but it's legit. He's got a bunch of pirate gold that he found.
That's cool.
I think it's like, I think the pirate was Bloody Morgan.
Okay.
And he's got pirate gold he's found, and he's going to basically introduce it to the world's market to screw up the
economic value of
screw up the economic value of gold and like screw everybody over that way.
Interesting.
Because Smersh is all about like screwing things up, and that's like what they do. Like they do the same thing with Goldfinger. No, Goldfinger's not. I don't think Goldfinger's.
Goldfinger, they're just legitimately just robbing the.
Well, they're burning. They're trying to burn Fort Knox.
Oh,
because Goldfinger's got a huge stake in gold, and if he burns Fort Knox, his gold will be like the highest price gold. Yeah, the value for his gold will go up.
Man, I need to do a rewatch of that.
Interesting,
movie.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, but that's what the plot is for the book.
Okay.
He was gonna,
which I'm sure it sounds cool
pirate
and
gold.
It works for the book. I think it would have been goofy in the movie.
Yeah, I think it would be too. I honestly like that plot, but I prefer this plot a lot better. Sure. I think it's more real.
Oh yeah, and it's like real for the time too. Yeah, you're like damn, like that's crazy.
I wish like they would do this one with more Bond movies now. Because I swear to God, if I see another Bond movie and there's a stick drive with a bunch of agents' names on it, and I'm going to snap.
We had that. While Bond is rushing to the main base, we got our hackers.
Yeah.
Like,
Like, give me one that's like about like, I know this is dark, but give me one that's about like Bond stopping human trafficking.
Dude, that'd be cool.
Because it's a real issue, and it's like, okay, he's legit
They
fighting
made it. It's
scumbags.
called Taken.
Yeah,
that's true. It
but
is,
like,
yeah.
give me
They're gonna
that.
take you.
Like, stop giving me these like, well, there's a satellite outside
Yeah.
of Earth. It's Time Warner Cable, and he's gonna turn into a giant laser, and they're gonna get rid of Nevada. You know what I mean? And it's just like this.
And
is
then they're
dumb.
gonna get
That's
a lot of
not plot, by
subscribers
the
in the
way.
meantime.
Yeah, we're gonna get a lot of subscribers. My goal is to be a YouTube enterprise.
Yeah.
It's called MeTube, and we're gonna take over all the videos from YouTube.
Oh my God, me too.
MeTube.
Are you saying meat tube?
MeTube.
Yeah.
My
Ugh.
my idea is I'm gonna make it's called Vimeo, and it's gonna take over YouTube.
Hey, it's not bad.
I know it's not bad. It's better quality.
Yeah.
Characters welcome.
So Bond, it's literally Bond going from like spot to spot.
Yeah.
He goes to get a hotel. We meet Whisper.
Shall I open it?
Now he's on the fake island of it's in like it looks like Jamaica, but it's a fake island, and it's the island that Kananga is the UN official for. San Monique.
San Monique.
San Monique,
Okay.
I believe is what it's called. So he's on this fake island, the fake country of San Monique.
Wow, you
Yeah.
really know this movie.
Yeah, San Monique.
So I like a lot of these things that happen, and I don't know if it's just from like being a kid and like you know how you like grow up with something and you like it. Hanto, a la Police Academy movies,
Yeah.
a la
a la Carrot Top.
Yeah.
yeah.
And like with you, like Joe Dirt or any Adam Sandler movie.
Joe Dirt's a funny movie.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
You never saw
Really?
Joe
We'll
Dirt?
have to watch it with each
This
other.
is I think like the 16th time
I
this
think
reaction has
actually,
been recorded.
this sounds very familiar.
We did this podcast. We started this 7 years ago. I still have not seen Joe Dirt.
Okay, we'll take care of that.
Yeah,
that and then
I'm good. Thanks.
Hanto's never seen Santa Claus.
I haven't
Surprisingly.
seen it. Yeah.
But what was I getting at before you talked about
The movie that you
oh,
watched when you were a kid, there's cool
Yeah.
moments.
Yeah, so there's like a lot of scenes that are very memorable, or
Yeah.
I remember like him using
Just
the
say it, dude.
I was
Just say
I was
it.
saying it. Him using the spray at the snake,
Yeah. This was cool.
and then like Rosie with like the freaking out like the-
Scarecrow.
yeah, and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And the hat on the bed, stuff like that. Like
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
just memorable stuff
I
as
was
a
just
kid.
gonna say, just say iconic. You know you want to.
Oh, I was wondering why you were pushing me.
Just say it. Just say the word.
Can we talk about how I don't know if you guys noticed it, but every single line that comes out of Roger Moore's mouth in this movie is a quip.
Is it?
I swear to God, it is. I watched it and I was like, everything he says is some sort of quip, where it's like, oh, he always had an inflated ego.
Oh,
So he's not
yeah,
having real
yeah.
conversation. He's just
yeah,
making
it's just
puns.
quips, dude. It's like Austin Powers quips, where it's like constant.
Was it like I'm a bit detached?
yeah,
Which is like the
Like-
last one or something.
Yeah.
like something he said to the girl when he took her dress off with the magnet, and he's like sheer magnetism or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, dude,
Magnets.
it's
How do
It
they
really
work?
is.
Yeah.
You're right, actually, now that you pointed out. But Bond goes off with Rosie, who we find out is another CIA agent.
I feel kind of bad because like it's cool having like a black actor, be a Bond girl.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, but she's like a bumbling idiot this entire movie, which is kind
Dude,
of a
she
bummer.
is. I'm actually surprised that the lead Bond girl wasn't a black actress.
Yeah, I think they were pushing for it.
They were pushing for it, and it was going to be I think it was Diana Ross was what they were pushing
Really?
for. Was
I
going to
think
be
that might be correct.
was going to be Solitaire. And for some reason they went against it. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I actually have that written down. The reason why they went against it
Yeah.
is because in certain markets, film markets, they don't tolerate interracial relationships. So they knew if they would have done that, they would have and it was like the South African market was a big one. And
What a bunch
So
of cowards.
How did they get away with the one Bond with Rosie then?
Because it's not like a true. It's not like a love. Like
yeah, it's not like a.
Well,
yeah.
none of Bond's
was
girls
gonna
are
say,
love.
They said they were eyeing Diana Ross.
Yeah.
But one of the producers told them it couldn't be done on the account of some of their markets, primarily Japan and South Africa, banning all movies with interracial romances.
That's a bummer. I mean, I like the way it ended. I think she does
So
great as
that's why,
Solitaire.
Yeah.
But it would have been cool to see Diana Ross.
Yeah.
As a,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it does. You're right though, because Rosie is just like,
It sucks.
she doesn't know
because,
how to fire a gun.
Yeah, she's a CIA
Um,
agent. She doesn't know how to do anything, which is
Yeah.
a bummer because you just feel kind of bad for her the entire time.
Yeah.
Like,
I also, if you watch it knowing that she is a
like a
a
trainer.
double agent,
Yeah.
she might be doing this to play a part.
Okay.
Like she's a bumbling. But no, like when she's underneath the boat and she comes out and she's gonna shoot that guy that's behind Bond, and it's like the safety's on and she doesn't know how to turn off the safety.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't feel like.
But it's also weird though, because it's like they're on a boat and the guy's about to kill Bond, but she's taking Bond to the island to get killed.
He wasn't gonna kill Bond.
She was.
He wasn't going.
No,
to.
he wasn't. But like, I'm just saying, if you were her, she's
I
a double
see what
agent.
you're saying.
She's pulling a gun on somebody that's probably on her side.
Yeah, let him kill Bond.
The only reason why she got killed is because she got called out by Bond, and then she was running away, and then the Scarecrow.
Because either Bond was going to kill her or the Scarecrow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it might be a part she's playing. She's playing a bumbling idiot
I see.
to like throw Bond off.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah,
right.
but I'm with you. I wish like I do like seeing I love Jane Seymour though.
Yeah.
Jane Seymour.
I'm saying she does great in it.
Dude, Jane Seymour's like, no kidding, like maybe my top 3 Bond girls, maybe my number 1. I don't know. We'll figure out when we do the show. When we do our Bond episode.
Oh, did you hear that? We got a show coming up.
Oh wow.
But yeah, I think that would have still been really cool. I think it's just one of those things that's a product of its time.
Yeah.
And it's just like I think it could have worked in the US and in the UK, but I think a lot of other places they knew that they couldn't push it in their market, and the markets wouldn't take it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it just sucks. It's just a shitty
I
circumstance.
feel like it's like
thing.
you just gotta do it.
Yes,
like
you just gotta do it.
Like I think that's what they did. I think in the Star Trek original series that they
I
had
was just thinking
Captain
exact
Kirk
same
thing.
kissing
Yeah.
Aurora.
Because
It's
honestly,
like I'm gonna use my F word. Just fucking do it.
just do it. Because like you look at like if anybody who could do it and get away with it, it's Bond, who could still be successful and be like,
yeah,
it's gonna your movie's gonna crush worldwide anyways. You know what I mean? So it's like, who cares about like these small markets that aren't gonna buy it? Like they're probably still gonna buy it later on.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, if anybody could have got away with it, it could have been Bond
agree.
and been successful still.
But if we're gonna talk positives, let's switch it up for a second. I will say some of the most memorable characters in a Bond movie.
Yeah, I would say,
right?
I'd say
Dude,
this,
everybody
this
that
cast,
pops up on screen.
and I think that's why I like this, like this a lot as a kid, is that everybody stuck out for me.
Yeah, like, and I don't know everybody's name, but like Teehee is super memorable.
Yeah,
Kananga, super memorable.
Whisper,
the guy with the claw.
Baron Samedi.
Teehee is the guy with the claw.
Okay, who is the guy with the top hat?
That's
Baron Samedi.
That's Baron Samedi.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I also like this movie a lot because GoldenEye 64.
Yeah,
he was my go-to character.
Was he?
Because
Okay,
that guy was awesome.
Yeah, and like I feel like too, having like, and it's all like black cast, right?
Yeah.
Nobody's like a caricature or like anything like that,
or
like
their traits, their special traits, which is awesome.
Yeah, I think Yaphet Kotto does an excellent job as Kananga.
Dude, I love the way he presents himself in this.
Oh, yeah.
She's awesome.
The way he
in it.
talks in it.
Yeah.
He's like especially awesome at the very end when he's like gonna basically feed him to the sharks, but his whole like,
oh, he's like giddy.
Yeah, he's like giddy and like
his demeanor. Yeah, it's very
even his like knife style that he does.
Oh,
I
love that dude. Yeah,
I love it. It's great.
Because I feel like by the time he gets so pissed by the end of the movie, he goes crazy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I feel like his like he
Yeah.
definitely changes because he's very like chill, and then up until the point where I think he screams at Solitaire. He talks about how like he's like, I would have made love to you when the time was right, and he like screams at her.
Is that what he says to her?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because you got big swinging dick Bond who basically
right, dude.
Took his girl basically.
With a lie.
Now you had
with what is it? I made a joke basically saying like, man, how much money did he use from the funding of MI6 to buy all these decks of cards?
I need 52 cards that look exactly the same. I need them now.
1,000 decks, please.
Yeah, he basically de-virginizes her.
Yeah.
And it screws up her powers. Which, by the way, this is our only supernatural
I was
Bond
gonna say
movie.
this is definitely a supernatural.
We got
movie.
Baron Samedi comes back alive a couple of times.
Yeah.
Or no,
Dude,
just once. Sorry, he just comes back
it's
once.
It's super rad too, like especially when it's like the final sequence or whatever, and they're having like that little ritual or whatever.
Yeah.
And then Baron Samedi is like standing there, and Bond shoots him several times, and he just like explodes.
Yeah.
And it's like a really cool, like, oh, it's like a trick or whatever.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's a
like his head cracks open.
Yeah.
And he like looks up at it.
Yeah. It's really
now
cool.
you told me a fact about the screenwriter. Do you want to bring it up on the show? Because now we're talking about like as far as like we're talking about this black cast.
Yeah.
We're talking about the cast of characters that were in it. And you had a little tidbit you told me.
I can't remember
about
exactly, but it was
the screenwriters.
basically written by this guy named Tom Manowitz.
Okay.
And I think he wrote several James Bond movies, including Superman the movie.
Okay.
But he was basically like a white dude.
Yeah.
And he wrote a lot of lines for black characters, but just did not know how to write for black characters.
Okay.
And so I think a lot of the lines were, jive turkey,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
Yaphet Kotto basically was like, I'm not reading that. That's
Right.
stupid.
Yeah.
And I think Yaphet Kotto ended up kind of like, I feel like I read this, but I think he kind of like ended up like improving or kind of redoing some of the
Yeah.
dialogue. But yeah, basically it was just like this guy just did not know how to write.
I kind of wish I knew that before I watched it. Like, it's
Yeah.
not all horrible.
Yeah.
There are a few things where he's like, you got a honky on your tail, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not all horrible. I think I'm trying to think of lines that are just kind of like cringy.
That's what I mean. There wasn't much of it. Like, I know it gets kind of thrown at the it's that combination where it's like, yeah, it's a blaxploitation movie meets Bond, and I'm like, I don't feel like it's as like blaxploitation
heavy
as
on the blaxploitation genre.
and I feel like it's because a lot of the actors like take like a lot of the actors are doing it kind of like their own way, like the way Yaphet Kotto does it. Like he kind of does it his own way, and he's not like that's what I mean. He's not really playing a caricature. He's playing a very straightforward like guy. He knows like he's working at the UN and everything like that, and then when he's like Mr. Big,
he is.
He's thrown on
he's
the character.
definitely like throwing in the. Yeah, it's almost like Mr. Big is like the caricature of like black, blaxploitation
Oh, good call.
character,
Yeah.
and then he rips off the paint, and then it's like, oh man, it's awesome, Yaphet Kotto. He was
Can I have your autograph?
Yes, sure.
When he's Mr. Big and James Bond introduces himself, and he's like, my name's Bond, James, and he cuts him off, and he's like, names are tombstones, baby. And
Dude,
I love that
that's
line.
badass.
Yeah, I love
That's
that line.
awesome.
Yeah. But I know we're getting kind of out of order with this movie, and we're going to. That's
okay,
fine.
so
I
now,
was gonna say Bond ends up tricking Solitaire
Yeah.
into sleeping with him.
Yeah.
Because
She is like not pleased with her decision.
it's a very awkward scene because he's like, the cards say it, we have to do it. And she's like, and she's basically like, okay.
Yeah, well, because she's like, the cards don't lie. Like it was like,
Yeah.
my mom was also a tarot reader. Like the mom before that, also a tarot reader.
Yeah.
So
I
it's
think the thing too is when people watch these movies, they think that like the characters are in love,
yeah,
and it's like I think they like if you really look at it, it's like no, Roger Moore's doing this to screw up Kananga because she's a fortune teller, and she's basically like
giving him all the tidbits.
Tidbits about what's going to happen in the future, and he's going to screw this up for her,
even to the point of like, oh, this random guy is arriving to our headquarters, and he's armed and dangerous.
Yeah, he doesn't love Solitaire. He's doing it to.
I don't know. I don't think
he's totally doing it to screw up her powers.
I think I'm on that.
He's doing it, and that way he can like take down Kananga.
Yeah,
I do not believe it. How did Bond know that that's what happened? He didn't know it was going to be.
I think he's seeing the fortune telling actually work, and he's like, okay, she's able to actually like call the shots before things are about to happen.
Yeah, but I don't think he knows that like if I have sex with her, it'll just.
I also feel like
powers.
he doesn't believe in the tarot card. He just wants to do it.
I totally
that too.
Do it, but also like this might work.
How does he know that? Why does he think that if I have sex with her, she'll lose her powers?
I don't know.
I've done it before.
I don't. It's worth a shot
with several fortune tellers.
Yeah.
So now they kind of have a relationship.
In your eyes, I think he's just using her.
Oh, I do too, but it's like
he's also using her as leverage.
Yeah,
because he's like, at one point, he's like, I've got something Kananga wants, and that's why he's taking her away.
Point. Yeah,
he's using it for leverage.
Yeah,
and then I think this is when I'm trying to think what happens here. Oh, they get into a cab at some point. And it's the guy from earlier in the movie.
It was basically like your Benny from Total Recall.
Oh yeah, we get. Oh no shit.
Yeah.
They really quick. They see the poppy fields.
Yeah.
They do the double decker bus thing, which is kind of a waste of.
I think it's cool. I think
it's whatever.
It's a chase scene.
It's like the one of 5 chase scenes that's in this movie.
No, it's 2 chase scenes. The other one is just 16 minutes long.
There's a boat one. There's an airplane chase scene.
I guess there's
this chase scene. And then you can kind of count the highway in one in the beginning as a chase scene,
that's
but
whatever.
kind of not. But it's a lot of chasing.
It is.
So yeah, and then they go back to they go to New Orleans.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
now
this
they're
is when
getting
they
out
get
of
into the chaos.
out of the airport.
And this is where the CIA agent's going to meet them, and then
Yeah.
ends up basically getting killed.
Which one?
The
The one that's staying outside front.
Yeah.
So help me where I'm at. So they got Solitaire back at this point, right? So
no,
Kananga-
they go to the airport
Yep.
and they do that whole this is another one that's kind of a waste of a time action sequence with the wings breaking off of the airplane
It's
and
fine.
the airplanes just driving
Yeah.
around. And then for some reason there are people that work at the airport that have guns.
they do, man.
And they I didn't know if they're Kananga's guys.
I didn't
but
know either. It's very
but I'm like,
confusing.
I'm at the same time too. I was like, why does Kananga go into airport out in the middle of nowhere?
Right.
But
Yeah, because this is I'm sorry, I was kind of lost, but yeah. So they both get captured, and then Solitaire kind of jumps in to save the day.
This makes no sense at all.
Why?
I feel
She was helping Bond out.
She swings her purse or whatever at Bond, as if to
To hit him.
Yeah.
or whatever.
It's to
and then-
distract the bad guys.
Oh, is it?
yeah.
And then that's when he
Okay.
jumps in. Yeah, she's totally
Okay.
trying to save him.
yeah,
I
she's
felt like it
doing
was
it to,
I felt like it was her betraying.
It kind of, I could see that.
but they were about to drop him from an airplane over a lake. Is what they were going to do.
It's kind of a tease for an awesome scene that's about to happen. He's like, you're going skydiving. And I remember as this was happening, when I watched earlier, I was like, there's a skydiving scene in this
Yeah.
one? And then it doesn't happen.
Like,
Oh no, there's
it's
a
license to-
plane that has no wings that drives
Yeah.
around.
You're
Yeah.
Oh no, it's license to kill.
and they destroy several other airplanes.
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, I wish I had this kind of budget to just blow on this nonsense sequence.
$7 million.
Yeah.
Right?
But yeah, so they got Solitaire back at this point, and Bond doesn't really seem too bummed about this. He's fine. He'll move on.
Yeah.
You'll find
And-
another girl.
Yeah. And then help me out, because at this point, we're getting towards the boat chase scene.
Yeah.
My God, this is a long scene.
It's like this is a long ass
Dude,
scene.
It's like they filmed so much footage, and they're like, "Well, I don't want to cut any of it. We shot it all day." And it's like, put
Yeah.
it all in there. You could easily cut out 7 minutes of this,
Dude,
thing.
because you don't even know what the hell's going on. Outside of what was his name? Peppercorn?
What?
The sheriff
Pepper.
James Peppercorn Bond. No, the sheriff.
Pepperidge Farm.
Pepperidge Farm.
I'm sorry. He eats a lot of Pepperidge
Oh,
Farm.
okay.
What is happening?
Sheriff Pepper is his name.
Yeah, Sheriff Pepper. Outside of what's going on with him, I don't know what's going on in this chase sequence.
So, to go back just a tad bit, they go to that bar. They're singing the Live and Let Die rendition.
yeah,
and then
yeah.
Bond is in that one seat that takes him to the base or the underground base.
Yeah.
And this is where Mr. Big basically reveals himself
Mhm.
as Kananga. And then they basically escape. And then I think this is where they take him to the crocodile.
no, he doesn't escape.
Oh, I'm sorry.
They
They don't
just,
escape.
they just take him to
Yeah,
the crocodile
yeah,
farm.
Oh, I
And
did see the
they're-
crocodile scene. The crocodile
Yeah.
scene
Yeah.
holds up, man.
This
I like
is
this scene.
iconic Bond scene.
I
Yeah.
agree. Matt was making me feel like I was going to dread it. You brought it up. You're like, "Oh, wait to get the crocodile."
No, I said
scene.
wait till you get to the airport scene.
He's a
That's when I
crocodile.
felt like, because the last time I watched this movie, I was like, when I got to the airport scene, I was like, there's still an hour left of this movie. I
Yeah.
was like, and he's just flying around this airplane, and somehow he got out of that.
the plane and finish the movie. Just go get the bad guy.
And they just won't shoot him.
Yeah.
It's one of those Bond
Dude.
movies where you're like, just shoot him.
Yeah. Exactly.
And they're like,
No,
well, we're going to
exactly.
take him to the crocodile and alligator farm. We're going to leave him on a rock in the middle, and then we're all just going to walk away.
Yeah, there's no way you can get out of here. So.
Yeah, have fun. They're all just going to walk away from him just being by himself in the middle of this. Obviously, yeah, any normal person couldn't escape it. It's a really good trap.
Yeah.
And a really awesome escape.
Somebody
But
watch.
it makes no sense that nobody's watching.
Somebody watch with a machine gun, so when he's running,
Yeah.
shoot him.
Yeah.
Or the person's so astonished by it that he gets close enough to him to him. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Holy shit, that guy just hopped over 4 alligators.
That scene is awesome.
Yeah, real stunt too.
That's crazy.
For Roger Moore.
No,
Okay.
real stunt by the stunt. The stunt guy's name was Kananga, and they decided to change the name.
Oh yeah.
They decided to change the
Yeah.
name of the villain in Live and Let Die to the last name Kananga for the stunt person.
Oh,
Yeah,
very
the
cool.
crocodile was he like the owner of the farm or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
But his name was Kananga, like in real life.
And he did
Yeah.
it several times to the point where, like, he said as soon as he'd fall in the water, the alligators would like bite onto anything they could.
Jesus
and so he had to go through like
Christ.
several shoes and several different suits to pull off the
That's
stunts.
insane.
My
But he's really
God.
jumping on legit.
That's
like-
cool. That's cool.
But yeah, I feel like honestly, you could have totally set this in joke up where like a guy's just standing there with a gun
Yeah.
and it doesn't think Bond's gonna make it across. Like
Like
he's
it's
waiting
like,
for
it-
Bond to die, and then Bond hops across all the alligators,
Yeah,
and
no.
the guy's so astonished by it, he doesn't even point his gun up fast enough, and he's just like, it's
no,
not.
this is a perfect opportunity where he's like, I'm gonna enjoy the show, light up a cigarette, and he sees him running across, and it's just like the cigarette like dropping from his
Yeah.
like astonished, and then that's it. Like he just lets him get away because he's like, that's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
dude.
that's awesome.
You know what?
Get out of here.
I'm
Yeah.
done. He takes his gun
or
out
it's
from
like
over his shoulder.
or it's like Iron Man 3,
Yeah.
or it's like
You know-
I quit. These guys are weird. I'm gonna go find a new job.
I don't remember that.
I love that. That's the best.
But then we have the boat chase scene, which now that you talk about it, the
This
reason it
is
feels
so
so long might be part of the fact that it's the 9th chase scene in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're like, cool, we've done this already.
Yeah.
Like, move on. But yeah, we have this huge boat chase scene, which is fine. It just needs to be cut down
And this is
drastically.
this is basically where this James Bond movie becomes the Sheriff Pepper movie.
for
Yeah.
like
Because
10
we're
minutes.
just like with him
yeah.
driving around
Yeah.
and like setting up
Yeah.
the barricades and
Mhm.
him getting his like
Chase scenes are boring.
yeah.
That's why
I actually was bored by this entire.
I
sequence.
usually don't like chase sequences in anything. I really think it's boring to watch.
I think if
Like,
it's like a driving sequence, like cars, like specifically
Matrix Reloaded.
that was good.
It's an awesome chase scene. Yeah.
Ronin with Robert De Niro.
There's a
Dude,
Yeah.
perfect car chase scene.
Okay.
That is like adrenaline rushing. Like, oh my god!
Yeah.
And it's like just close quarters. You're just driving. You got a lot of POV
yeah.
car, and it's just like exciting. This one's just like wide shots
Yes. That's what ruins it. Is
Yeah.
it's wide shots.
and just like, all right, this is boring.
And like I couldn't even tell you like I just know Bond's in front.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
every
exactly.
time
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
know
When you
Bond's
do the
in
wide
front.
shot, you can't see who's driving, so you're just like,
Yeah.
I assume that they're chasing after Bonds.
Yeah.
So Bond's is the first one.
T1000 chasing the motorcycle.
Dude, that movie is
Perfect.
crazy,
God, I haven't-
incredible.
Oh,
I
that's
have not
100%.
seen it
yeah,
since
that is like amazing.
That's
I haven't seen it
100%,
since
yeah.
videotape days.
No, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Man, I want to rewatch it soon.
Like no shit. No shit.
That
why,
never
movie-
why
seen
don't we
it
just
since
do an
videotape
Arnold
days.
month? I feel like it's been creeping up. Let's do an Arnold year.
Oh my god, I don't think there's enough movies to cover.
Maybe we'll see what happens. So after the boat chase scene, I feel like we're drawn towards the end.
This
here,
is towards
right?
the
Yeah.
end, yeah.
Which, oh my god, can we talk about how quick this wraps up? So usually
Oh,
like
yeah,
the last
absolutely.
30, 40 minutes will be like Bond with the main villain and put him in an escapable
Yeah.
situation, whatever. Then they fight. Bond goes to the island.
This is him basically bringing the fight to him.
It's
Yeah,
a
pretty-
really nonsensical ending because it's like I feel like there's a lot of logic going on to like why things are happening in the movie, but like then all of a sudden when it's like it ends on like we've got like how does Bond know about all this stuff? How does he know there's gonna be a ritual on this island?
Oh, he's got those tarot cards that
Yeah.
the leftover tarot cards.
How's he know solitaire is gonna be in the ritual?
Yeah,
Like
they don't really explain like, oh, she's gonna be sacrificed.
yeah.
James Bond. Solitaire's gonna be it's M. James Bond.
But it's just like there's a lot of stuff where it's like, and then lucky enough, Kananga's there
Yeah.
in
It just
the
all
bowels of this
It
island.
just
like,
all falls into place.
yeah,
But it all falls into place. I paused it. 13 minutes left in the movie when he
That's
gets
nuts.
when he gets onto the island.
yeah.
That's nuts.
He saves Solitaire real quick.
So
He has like a sword fight.
yeah,
Then he goes to Kananga's underground lair, and then
kills him.
he fights Kananga for like 35 seconds. Well,
Yeah.
actually, I'm jumping ahead, but it's a very
Yeah,
quick sequence.
But then the train sequence, like
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. You forgot about the
Yeah,
train
yeah.
sequence. But this probably is one of my favorite parts of the movie. Is when
oh god. I
well,
don't
no,
know.
not there. No, I'm getting before that.
Okay,
Is when Kananga or when Bond explains to Kananga what that gun does.
that's how I knew
and
you were
then
gonna go here.
he aims the gun at Whisper.
yeah.
And I feel so bad for Whisper because he has this look on his face like he's gonna get up. He's like it's
Boss,
kind of like a, what
boss,
are you
don't do
doing?
it.
Yeah, it's kind
Yeah.
of like that. And it's kind of like I feel bad for the guy. And then the couch blows up.
already big to begin
and then like the couch blows up and he like tumbles around and like Kananga's like laughing at it.
Yeah,
And I like this because they're showing like the human side to Kananga. Like he's like goofing around.
It's
Yeah.
weird. He changes.
yeah. He changes.
He changes like roles in this last like 10 minutes.
He's
of
very
this movie.
serious in the last time we saw him. when
Yeah,
he
he's
ripped
serious
his-
throughout the whole movie.
when he rips his mask,
Yeah.
especially when he rips the mask out because it's all about him stealing solitaire.
Yeah.
But then this one's like, oh, haha.
But I also don't like the whole like him like I kind of hate this. I'm not gonna lie to you. But now that we're talking about it, I hate the fact that he has like a shark pit in this underground layer.
Oh yeah, it's weird.
And
It's a
then
weird.
he's gonna,
It's a
like-
weird cave in
Yeah.
this Caribbean island.
and
Like,
he's
I don't
like,
mind it. I
and
don't
then
love
he's
it, but I
like,
don't mind it.
he's lowering them into this shark pit, and I'm like,
just kill him.
yeah. And I just feel like I'm like watching, and I was like, okay. There's been nothing in this movie so far that tells me that Kananga's this kind of person that would be
Yeah.
like, I want to watch you slowly die.
Yeah.
He seems very business oriented and like getting shit done. You know, I mean, he bumps off those 3 agents in the beginning of the movie very,
Yeah.
very fast.
Yeah,
Right.
and very.
So he doesn't seem like the
precisely,
kind
too.
of guy that would.
Okay.
He doesn't seem like the kind of guy that would torture somebody
Yeah.
or watch him slowly get eaten by sharks.
Right.
He seemed like he's like, yeah, just get it done. Like
just
we
put
got
a bullet.
a
feed
shipment
them-
going out tonight. Like let's
Yeah.
go.
Okay,
Yeah.
this
So
is
it's
valid.
really
Yeah.
weird
Yeah.
that like he has an underground. It's so kind of like James Bond cliche that he has an underground layer with a pit of sharks, and in this like whatever the hell this thing is, he's got a thing that
The
like,
monorail.
what the hell is this?
The monorail.
Like no, it picks stuff up and then
the
it
cage.
lowers it into the
Into
shark
the
pit.
shark
it's,
thing.
it's for James Bond. It's,
Exactly.
Yeah, it's only
Like,
for James Bond.
what other purpose does this serve
Yeah.
other than
It's
lowering
valid.
people into your
Yeah.
shark pit?
Yeah.
So it's kind of
That's
goofy.
a good point.
Yeah.
I don't
It
mind
kinda-
it, but that's a good point.
Everything that happens in this 10 minutes, I feel like goes against the
Character.
groundedness that this movie was creating.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
And then it
'cause
becomes
then-
then it
'cause
becomes
now
a
we're
James
like-
Bond
We're
movie.
like, oh, now he has like a Spectre layer for some
Yeah.
reason.
yes, and then he's like giggly and he's laughing, and you're
Yeah.
like, okay, he's not even playing the same character he was
Okay,
throughout the movie.
that's
Yeah.
pretty good call. Actually,
So
But-
can we talk about the book for a second?
well,
I
is
haven't
it,
read it,
can
but-
we wrap up the movie, or do you want to talk about the book?
Well, yeah, we can talk about the movie.
you want to
Like,
wrap up and then
It
go to
doesn't
the
matter.
book?
I just wanted to talk about the differences between the book
Oh.
and the movie.
Okay, well, go ahead. If you got
Okay.
something for the scene, go ahead.
So this is like one of the I remember being one of the better Bond books that I've read.
Oh yeah, you were telling me about this.
Yeah, the differences
yeah,
here.
yeah.
So Live and Let Die is probably like the book with the most iconic moments in all the Bond movies, because half of its plot is License to Kill, and half of its plot is Live and Let Die, and it's like so like everything with Felix Leiter getting eaten by sharks.
yeah,
And License to Kill happens in the Live and Let Die book. And then he goes after Kananga, and then he finds out about like drug smuggling and gold and all that kinds of stuff. And that's the Live and Let Die story in there. And then like Baron Samedi and everything. And then at the end of the book, he and Solitaire get tied up behind a boat and dragged naked through the water. And then they end up using that scene in
For Your Eyes Only. Yeah, you did tell me this. Okay.
yeah,
I remember.
and like he drags him through like shark infested or barracuda infested water to get
these
eaten.
are like all the best scenes.
yeah. So all that's in the Live and Let Die book,
Okay.
and so the last like third of the book is him going into the island and like
it's
finding out about the plan
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then getting dragged through. I think that's how it happens. He gets
Yeah.
dragged through the water with Solitaire.
Okay. And I've always wanted to read those books. They're not big books.
No, Live and Let Die is the best one to start on.
Yeah.
like legit, because it's like the one with all the cool moments in it. Yeah.
And they're
Did-
maybe not even 200 pages. They're
no,
they're
they
super
barely
short.
break 200
Did
most of
Ian
the time.
Fleming write? Was there like a License to Kill novelization?
No.
So it's almost like they like doing this whole revenge with Mr. Big and the drug stuff. It's almost like they took elements from the Live and Let Die novelization to make License to Kill, because the whole plot of License to Kill is basically like drug running and
Yes.
cartels and revenge with the Felix Leiter. So
Yeah.
it's almost like they adapted it or readapted it in the form of
It's
think so.
it's very close. But I will say that too. That's what I like about the License to Kill ending is it's like we do that. What's a car chase?
yeah.
But we do a truck chase, and it's kind of like
That's
it's
kind of
like,
cool.
It's cool, but it's grounded,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's like okay, I dig this way more than like an underground layer. I think
Yeah.
honestly, by the time they get to 73,
Yeah.
I think it's
Oh,
done.
it's
I think we're
off the
done with the
rails.
underground
Yeah.
layers. I think that's why the Roger Moore movies I don't like as much.
Yeah.
Like when they
yeah.
start getting into like everyone's got their layers and like the
Yeah.
production values get bigger and bigger and bigger and
Yeah.
I don't know, I need to go through them again because a lot of these I haven't watched since I was a kid. And I know that we're doing James Bond month. I'm probably going to watch,
I
8
know.
or 9 of them.
I'll watch Spy Who Loved Me.
I left off on Spy Who Loved Me. I'm probably going to continue watching them.
Hunter said it was rough.
I think it's
Yeah.
because I don't know if I was.
You can be honest. Hey, this is an honest place.
It was kind of boring.
Directed
Yeah.
by Stanley
But I know it's
Kubrick.
supposed to be the best. What?
directed by Stanley Kubrick.
Ghost directed.
Yeah, he
I know
came on.
I didn't know he did the last sequence for
Yeah.
lighting.
He came on to I want to say he ghost directed some of the stuff that happens when they're in that giant boat.
So the giant
And they're
boat,
the two armies are fighting.
the giant boat apparently was real. Like it was the biggest set. I don't know if it's the biggest set ever or the biggest set at the time, but they had a hard time lighting it or figuring out how to light it because it was so massive.
Really?
They brought Stanley Kubrick basically as a
Oh,
consultant.
that's
Yeah,
neat.
and they
Yeah.
were
Figure
in
it out.
because it was Elstree Studios, I think.
Yeah.
And it might have been right around the time that The Shining was filming,
It's very possible.
because we talked about this on the Shining
couple years- it
podcast,
was
that
like a
The Shining
three-
was a
a
long
3-year.
few years process.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
So
yeah, I
he
guess
might
it
have
would
been
yeah.
around the Elstree studio, because that
That's-
would have been an Elstree
that's
studio
valid.
production
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, to basically kind of wrap up the movie, Kananga ties up Bond and Solitaire to feed him to the sharks. Bond escapes with his watch and
Yeah.
turns into a saw, and then he pulls Kananga into the water, puts one of the pressurized bullets into his mouth,
Shark pellet.
and he becomes 100 feet tall.
We got it because the last time shark pellets or shark guns have ever come on the podcast was from Deep Star 6.
Oh
they're-
yeah.
We gotta intercut the
Miguel Ferrer.
yeah, we gotta
Yeah.
intercut the part where Kananga blows up and it cuts to Miguel Ferrer. We're like, oh,
I forgot about that. I totally forgot
Dude.
about that.
Or when the guy's head blows up in License to Kill.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
in the pressurized cabin,
That's
yeah.
nuts.
Dude, that's violent,
That
man.
is
It is.
gnarly.
I
Um,
totally okay. So say Kananga. Okay, here's what I'm thinking with this Kananga thing. The only reason Kananga dies and explodes is because he hits a pointy rock at the top.
It's very possible.
So if it
you
wasn't
think,
there,
so you think if it wasn't there, that was just his life.
like he
Yes.
was like, "This is me now, Mr. Big."
I read a quote that Yaphet Kotto hated that as well.
Oh, I would hate it too.
Oh,
That's
it's
kinda-
my favorite James Bond moment, hands down. it is such an awesome movie.
It's so
I mean, it's-
absurd.
It's
yeah.
so dumb.
And then that comes out of nowhere, and you're like, "What?" Well, and I feel bad. I think
yeah, and they make a fart noise too,
Yeah.
and he's just
Oh, yeah.
as he's getting bigger and bigger, and it's they couldn't have made it any comically dumber. It's like
Yeah.
somebody ghost directed the last 10 minutes of this movie.
dude, well, did you notice that Yaphet? Yeah, you're actually right. Yaphet, how do you say it, Kotto?
Yaphet
Yaphet
Kotto.
Kotto.
Yaphet. When he's in the water,
Oh yeah, his face. He's
he
"Ooh."
makes a face like something's happening, and then he blows air into his cheeks. And I imagine the director was like, "Just blow air into your cheeks. Trust me, it's gonna look really cool." And
Yeah.
he's like, "I trust you." And
Yeah.
So
then
you're just gonna make my head explode? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
yeah, something like that. Could you imagine being in theaters like opening night? It's like,
Yeah.
and you're like, "Oh my god."
I can't imagine being surrounded by you guys, and I'm excited about my new role as a James. We're gonna go full circle here. I'm excited about my role as Kananga because I'm 33 years old, and I'm like, guys, I'm a James Bond villain, and then you guys watch me blow up, and the only thing that stops me from getting any bigger is the cave of the ceiling of this cave, and I'm like, that's the dumbest thing in the world.
I am embarrassed.
Matt's got this half smile on his face. I'm trying to fight back tears,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I'm trying to be really nice and supportive.
And
I'm
Matt's
like,
like, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get some more popcorn real quick.
It's the end of the movie. I gotta go.
yeah, I'm starving. I still think it's amazing. It's one of my favorite James Bond moments because it's so ridiculous. So he ends up dying, and then
Oh, he
Bond-
does?
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know.
because of the rocks,
Yeah.
and
And he floats down in balloon form. Did you see all that?
Oh
Like,
yeah,
he pops-
yeah.
No, he blows up, and his the rest of his body is shivers of it's like slivers of a balloon,
So
falling.
good. It's
They should've-
amazing.
Instead of
should've-
just
they should've-
straight gore, where it's
Yeah.
just completely covering James
sh-
Bond in solitaire, and it's
I would say they should cut to James Bond's face and she's
like
he's just smiling because he's a psychopath.
dude, like Evil Dead style blow, where they're just completely drenched, like a tremor just blew
Yeah.
up. They're like, oh
and,
my
and
god.
it cuts to that deer head on the wand. It's like,
That's when Whisper decides to be loud, and he starts laughing. We're like, ah!
he's just like,
I hope Whisper doesn't die in this. By the way, I know
I don't think he does.
no,
He
I
just-
think he survives.
He gets
throws
locked
him
in
in
that
the-
the monorail.
Yeah, he gets locked in the monorail, but it's waterproof, so I can't imagine how much air there is for that.
And I can't imagine Bond let him out. Poor guy.
Let me out.
From a guy who de-virginized
Do you
the
think
girl
Bond went
just
out-
to screw over another villain, I don't think he let this dude out.
Okay,
Yeah.
here's what happened. This is a deleted scene. Bond walked up to what is it? Like a
It's just a monorail, like
a monorail container.
Yeah.
He walked up to it, and then Bond was like, "Shall I open it?"
Oh man, What a dick move.
This movie is stupid.
James Bond will be back and stupid.
But then Solitaire and Bond, they survive. They go take a train later on, like the next day or whatever, and then they get attacked by Teehee. And
he was hiding in this really, really small mail sack.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he
they
totally
show
was.
like the
Yeah.
size, and it's like it shows the claw coming out, and you're like, it's very tiny.
He took
For such a tall dude.
Yeah, for a very tall guy.
Yeah, and I can't imagine the asshole who had to pick that bag up, and he's like, "What the hell?
Jesus Christ!
250 pounds of letters?
I'm gonna throw this bag in the garbage. No, don't do it.
I'm definitely leaving this one here on the.
I'm gonna set this one on fire. No, please don't.
To the incinerator.
Nebraska's not getting their mail this week.
You have to. It's your job. It's a federal crime. Yeah, I guess the bag's right.
That's like, can you imagine hiding inside an Amazon bag or an Amazon box? And you're like, deliver me, please. And you're like, please deliver me.
Put me on the front porch.
And your claw just busts through the box. You're like,
I like this scene because I like the way they fight in such a small confined space.
yeah.
This is a cool shot.
Yeah,
I
cool.
really like all this.
I like the way he flips him out of the window.
I do
it's
too.
awesome.
I really
watched
like
this
the
ball.
choreography there is really cool.
cuticle clippers to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His ball hair clippers. He's like,
Oh, get that off my arm!
oh, that's disgusting.
That's
That is so unsanitary.
But like Solitaire is like pushed up in the bed because Teehee like pushed her up there, and then he throws Teehee out the window. They commence in lovemaking, and then we see one last shot.
This is great. Baron Semity,
sitting on the front of the
the
train,
man who cannot die.
laughing at the camera as Live and Let Die kicks
Awesome
on.
ending.
Awesome
crazy.
ending. It's such a good
Yeah.
ending. All right, so Live and Let Die, 1973. It has a 63, I believe it was on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm going to give it a 70. I think I was afraid to watch this. I feel like it was going to be stereotypical. I was afraid there was going to
Yes.
be hints of like racism.
Yeah.
I was afraid of a lot of things. I mean, you're still got the thing where like Bond, misuses women.
Yeah.
There's some of the stuff is still problematic, but it's not what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I thought this was going to be extremely dated and hard to watch. I did not think it was. I would still put, I don't know if I put it in my top 3, but it's still up there for me as a favorite of Bond's. I just think it's too long. It does not need to be 2
It's
hours. Cut all those chase scenes down dramatically.
Yeah.
And I think you have a really tight James Bond movie.
Okay.
So I'm going to say 70%. Hanto?
I'll go with 65. Definitely a lot higher when I was a kid,
Same.
but this time was definitely like it felt slow. Something about it felt off.
Agreed.
Something with the plot, just them going back and forth to Harlem, to the island, back to New Orleans. There's just a lot of like jumping around that kind of got confusing after a little bit of time. Definitely not the best entry for Roger Moore with this being his first movie. It should have been a little bit more exciting, but I still had a good time watching it. I had an even better time talking about it.
Okay.
Ooh, good
Um,
review.
But I say the big pluses are probably just Yaphet Kotto. He's great. Baron Semity, awesome N64 character. And yeah,
Pizza bites, extra great snack, right?
what is
What
that?
are
What is
you-
that
I
with that?
don't know. I think you're just going down a list of things that
No.
you like. You're like-
We got Breckenmeyer from Clueless. I just want to thank
Yeah.
That's what I thought. That's right. Like, pizza bites.
thank McDonald's for
Um,
taking their time to make their sandwiches.
But yeah, I would say 65 is probably where
Okay.
it's at.
Okay. I am going to sit at a 70. Last time I watched this movie, I didn't like it. And
remember
I was
you
kind
talking
of
about
dreading
that.
watching. I was like, it's kind of boring.
Yeah.
And I watched it this time and I'm like, actually, I really like a lot of the elements in this.
Yeah.
Awesome list of characters. Roger Moore does a really good job. If I was a huge fan of Sean Connery and I hadn't, like, say I'm growing up watching his movies.
Maybe like a
and-
transition.
Yeah, the transition to having Roger Moore jump in, I'm like, awesome. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
And honestly, I've never really been disappointed by anybody they ever pick as Bond. I know people get all stinky,
yeah, it's
stinky
always-
about it, but
it's always pretty good.
it's
Just
always
like,
pretty good. They
yeah.
always figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think like I'm with you, Chris, on the fact that I think it needs to be. I don't think it needs to be shorter. I think you need to cut the action sequences down because there's a lot of
Yeah,
useless ones in here.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. It would make it
And-
shorter.
Well, I mean, like, I would say replace it with like, I want to see more of Yaphet Kotto. I
Yeah,
want to
hell
see
yeah.
more of that kind of stuff. The last 10 minutes of the movie, I understand, are like in a way iconic. I think they kind of don't fit for this movie. I would like it to be something different. The ritual stuff is really cool. I think that fits for the movie, but I think anything in the underground layer, it makes no sense for the movie.
I have something I want to add.
But 70% for me.
70. Okay.
One thing that this movie misses on, and they do actually pretty well in some of the later Bond movies, is like Bond legitimately chasing after the main villain, and they don't do any of that in this movie, where it's like get him, like like they do it incredibly well, and we'll talk about it. But GoldenEye, that's like an exhilarating where it's like kill this man, you know, but they don't do like Kananga's just doing his own.
That's
thing.
what's so odd about and you're right because I was saying earlier like. He doesn't get to Kananga until the last 13 minutes. Yeah. And it's like a quick wrap up. Yeah. Which I still like the ending. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But it is. It just it feels like it needs to be bigger.
Get the bad guy.
Yeah. If I had to critique it, I don't like it. Yeah. But like I enjoy it's weird. At critiquing it, I think the last 10 minutes is goofy. Yeah. But I've watched it several times. It's entertaining.
Yeah. I think the score is solid.
Score's great.
It's one of the better scores.
Like the score.
Awesome theme. Like you said, the ensemble's dope. Some of the best villains.
It's really got a great cast of like characters.
Yeah,
I feel like it's got one of the best.
This
James
is probably
Bond group.
This is like the most like of all the Bond movies. I know this cast of characters.
It's the most memorable. Yeah,
like
I totally agree.
The main henchman, the right hand man, the main villain, the Bond girl. I know like all of them. And even like the stupid sheriff, like I know he's in this movie. Yeah, like even to that, like,
and he doesn't kill a lot in this movie. I think the body count's like 4 or 5.
It's really low.
Yeah,
it's
really low, and he doesn't even like get into like gunfights or anything in this. Really, he shoots people, but he's busy in
in boat chases.
I know he loves just running. Yeah, he runs a lot, but like also too, it's like I feel like it's always hard to figure out what James Bond's mission is.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, okay, what's James Bond mission in this movie? He's trying to figure out what happened to these agents.
His mission is always to find out which girl he can get.
Yeah. But yeah, I enjoyed it watching, and I enjoyed hell of a lot talking about it with you guys.
I'm just glad it held up.
Yeah.
What was the follow up? Somebody Love Me?
No, Man
with the Golden Gun.
Okay, I remember that one being very tough. Last time I
like the theme song.
Oh, same.
But I'll probably watch that and Spy Who Loved Me for this month, just because I haven't seen them since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll probably watch honestly a lot of the Roger Moore ones.
I think I will too.
Because the Sean Connery ones, like I've watched a lot since.
Same. Sean Connery ones are probably the ones I've watched the least.
Okay. Interesting.
I like them.
Yeah.
Some of the early ones are a little goofy, but you know.
I remember not liking Man with the Golden Gun when I was a kid either.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's just like
it's kind of stupid.
It's very slow.
It's a boring plot.
Yeah.
But we do have another one lined up. Our next episode will be coverage of the new one, No Time to Die, starring Daniel Craig from 2021. Expect that to be our next episode as we continue James Bond month. If you have any requests for any future months, any topics, if you have any suggestions or just general feedback, you can hit us up on Facebook or you can email us at
cinemacultpodcast@gmail.com.
As always, thank you so much for listening. We love doing this. We hope you love listening to it. I'm Chris.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Honto.
And we'll see you next time.